Do you ever watch Gladiator and think, wow, I should have been born in ancient Rome? You want the armor, the marble statues, the slow-motion battlefield speeches. You are stupid. Ancient Rome was not an aesthetic. It was a disease with plumbing. And today, congratulations. You have spawned into 100 AD. No tutorial, no respawn, no indoor toilet paper. Let's see how long you last. Character creation. Before we begin, we need to determine your class. Are you a wealthy patrician, a middle-class merchant, a plebeian, or a slave? Statistically speaking, you are poor, very poor, and there's about a 1 in 3 chance you are enslaved. But let's be optimistic and say you're a free citizen. Congratulations. You now have rights, minimal ones, but still, level 1, basic survival. First problem, water. Rome had aqueducts, glorious, massive, engineering masterpieces. They carried fresh water across miles. Unfortunately, the water then flowed through lead pipes. Lead, the metal that slowly poisons your brain. Historians debate how much damage it did, but let's just say, if Roman politics feels insane, there may be a reason. Public fountains were common, so were public latrines, which were just long benches with holes cut into them. No walls, no privacy. You and 20 other Romans, defecating shoulder to shoulder, discussing taxes. To clean yourself, you use a sponge on a stick. Shared, communal, wet. You have now unlocked E. coli DLC. Level 2, disease RNG. Rome was dense, filthy, and full of animals. Dogs, rats, pigs, humans, all vibing in tight alleyways. There was no germ theory. If you got sick, a doctor might recommend bloodletting, amulets, or rubbing owl brains on the forehead. Malaria was common, tuberculosis too, and if you survived childhood, congratulations. Your life expectancy is still around 35, but don't worry, you probably won't make it that far. Level 3, making money. You need income. Rome runs on labor. If you are poor, your options include farm labor, construction, mining, military service. Let's talk mining. Roman mines were essentially underground death caves. Toxic air, cave-ins, no ventilation. Children worked there because nothing says civilization like child lung collapse. Maybe you join the army instead. Roman soldiers were well-trained, disciplined, efficient, and deployed for 20 years. You march across Europe in sandals. Fight people who don't want to be conquered. And if you survive 2 decades, you might get land. Might. Assuming Rome hasn't collapsed by then. Level 4, politics, the real boss fight. You think modern politics is chaotic? Rome invented political assassination. As a hobby, emperors ruled absolutely. Some were competent, others were experimental. Take Caligula. He allegedly declared war on the sea and ordered soldiers to stab the waves. He may have appointed a horse as a senator. That might be propaganda, but the fact historians debate it tells you enough. Then there's Nero, musician, arson enthusiast, persecutor. When Rome burned in 64 AD, rumors said he started it. He blamed Christians, which brings us to your next problem. Level 5, entertainment. Romans love spectacle, gladiator games, public executions, animal hunts. The Colosseum could hold 50,000 people. That's a modern stadium. But instead of football, it's organized homicide. Gladiators were often slaves or prisoners. They trained hard. They were celebrities. But statistically, your career expectancy in the arena is not long. If you are a criminal, you might be executed publicly, sometimes by lions, sometimes by creative innovation. Rome treated cruelty like a performance art. Bred in circuses, baby. Distract the masses with carbs and violence. Level 6, housing. If you are rich, You live in a domus. Courtyard, frescoes, running water. If you are normal, you live in an insula, an apartment building, made of brick and hope. They were overcrowded, poorly built, fire hazards. Upper floors were cheaper, also more likely to collapse. There were no fire departments. As you understand them, if your building caught fire, you ran, or you died. Urban planning was more of a suggestion. Level 7, empire problems. Rome controlled millions of people, across 3 continents. That sounds powerful. It also means constant rebellions, border wars, political instability. If you live near a frontier, you might wake up to find, good morning, the Goths are here. And the Goths are not a music genre. They are armed. Empires expand fast. They decay slowly. And you are alive during the maintenance phase. Level 8, social structure. Rome is obsessed with status. Patricians versus plebeians. Citizens versus non-citizens. Men versus women. Women had limited rights. Slaves had none. And slavery was everywhere. Rome was powered by conquered people. If you were enslaved, you were property, beaten, sold, worked, sometimes freed, often not, and revolts were crushed brutally. Just ask Spartacus. Actually, you can't. He's dead. Very dead. Final boss, you. Let's recap your survival stats. Mortality rate, high. Sanitation, questionable. Political stability, RNG-based. Medical knowledge, mythical. Human rights, optional. But let's say you survive disease. Avoid the mines. Don't anger the emperor. Don't get enslaved. Don't get trampled by a chariot. Don't get stabbed in a street brawl. Don't get executed for entertainment. Don't get drafted into a 20-year campaign. Then congratulations. You may live long enough to see Rome slowly decline over the next few centuries and eventually collapse, which is impressive because most empires take longer to uninstall themselves. Survival rating, ancient Rome. Engineering, 10 out of 10. Architecture, 10 out of 10. Personal safety, 2 out of 10. Public hygiene, 1 out of 10. Human empathy, situational. Would you respawn here? Only if you're rich. And statistically, you're not. Ancient Rome, 4 out of 10 stars. Beautiful, violent, full of lead. Next time you romanticize the past, remember, history is just hard mode with worse plumbing. Spawn history. Games have never been fair.